Well, we're getting closer and closer and closer to the start of the new year, but also getting close to the biggest and the most important wrestling event starting of 2021, Wrestle Kingdom. So we're going to review 3 days of Road to Tokyo Dome. So all of that will be discussed and reviewed on this episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling from AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, many promotions, wrestlers, matches, championships. I am your host J-Rod here. So as you know right now, we're getting closer and closer to the start of 2021, but also one of the most important and biggest events starting the year with New Japan Pro Wrestling. We're talking about Wrestle Kingdom 15. Now, as you know, this past Wrestle Kingdom, it was a 2-day event. It appears that we're going to have that. The same thing again. As you know, we already have decided who will be facing the, the current champions, such as the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, the Junior Heavyweight Champion, and of course, our double champion. Now, let's start with the first day. As you know, they have this tour called the Road to Tokyo Dome. So basically, this is before we get to Tokyo Dome, before that time. Now, they start doing this pretty cool thing where they have a recap of the entire year, starting before the start of the new year, all the way before when we had to cancel. They had to cancel shows when we're facing the pandemic. Then they revise again with a special project, and of course, the things like Evil betraying Lij, becoming the double champion, all this and that. So it was pretty cool for a recap, and they've been doing that for all the shows they broadcast for all three of them. So let's start with the first match. We have Young Lions versus Veterans. We got Yuya Umura, Gabriel Kidd, and Yota Tsuji facing off veterans Tiger Mask, Satoshi Kojima, and Toki Makabe. Now, as you can guess right now, if you follow New Japan, you know, and most times when you have young lions facing off veterans like them, there's a chance that the veterans most likely will win. But however, if you have a young lion teaming up with a master, well, and another team with another master, that's a similar situation. But however, you face a young lion versus, but however, if you have two young lions, that's a different story. But this time you can guess it's Tiger Mask, Kojima, and uh, Togi Makabe winning this match, so they won the victory on this one. Next match, we had Toa Henare and Juice Robinson facing off against Bullet Club members Yujiro Takahashi and Kenta. Now, as you know, Kenta is the current holder of the briefcase that contains a contract for a future championship for the IWGP United States Championship, currently held by Moxley. Now, as you know, he's been using majority of the time as a weapon, even when he's on New Japan Strong. But this time, it did not happen. Toa Henare and Juice Robinson were able to pull the victory on this one. But as soon as the post match began, Kenta, once again with his little shenanigans, he tries to up one on anybody that stands in his way. But because he pissed off Juice Robinson, he issued himself as a challenger. And he took the briefcase. Of course, Kenta, not too pleased, in post-match interview, he still wants Jon Moxley. He's sick and tired of these challengers. He's like saying, I don't want these guys. I'm done. I want Moxley. But hey, that's how it is. You make yourself a target, Kenta. If you can't appreciate it, you should not have won in the first place. Now, the next match, we have Master Wato and his mentor Tenzan teaming up with, of course, the Funk Master himself, Ryusuke Taguchi, facing off against Suzuki members Minoru Suzuki, El Desperado, and the return of Yoshinobu Kanemaru. As you know, Kanemaru was out of action for almost a month due to the fact that he was injured prior before the Best of the Super Juniors. Yuya Uemura took his spot, and sadly he wasn't there. But we did see Desperado where he was, and he probably asked, "Where was Minoru Suzuki?" Uh, he was never involved. He never gets involved in these type of matches unless if he's teaming up with someone for the heavyweight tag team division. But however, as you know, these guys how they run. Instead of Suzuki-gun, they always attack their opponents before the bell rings. But however, the roles would reverse. These guys who dealt with Suzuki-gun, they know, it's our turn. But of course, there's the same funny shenanigans with Taguchi. It did not work this time, but however, they were able to pick up the victory against Suzuki-gun. As you know, Suzuki-gun never likes to lose whatsoever. They get pissed. They beat up anybody that stands in their way. The next match we have is the Bullet Club, Chase Owens, Tama Tonga, Tangaloa, along with Yado, facing off against the current IWGP Tag Team Champions, Dangerous Techers, consistent of Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr., along with Doiki. Now, in this particular match, you got to keep in mind, Tama Tonga Tangaloa, aka God, they have a square position for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles. Now, however, these guys have been 6 times champions before. Dangerous Techers, they're not amused. They think they can hold on. They will never lose the titles. But however, Zack Sabre Jr. has this things like, you guys lost 6 times, losing those titles. That makes you losers. But what makes them so certain that they're going to obtain it? But however, the match went exactly in the favor of Bullet Club to make a statement. Bullet Club, especially Tama and Tonga, they're not going to tolerate their ways. So they just beat them up. And of course, the helping hand of Yado, who's been their mentor, their manager, however you want to pronounce it. And they gave them a Bullet Club beatdown. And that's the last thing these guys needed. Even Yado took photos of them. I thought it was pretty cool to see that in them. So now the next match is a tag team match. We have the Empire, consistent with the Great O'Khan and Jeff Cobb, facing off against Toma. No, oh yeah, and Will Ospreay taking on Tomoaki Honma and Tanahashi and Okada. As you know, there's been tensions between Tanahashi and Khan, and of course Will Ospreay and Okada. So we're gonna see those matches coming up in Wrestle Kingdom. But it was a pretty interesting match. But however, the match always ends in favor of the Empire. It was a good match to show, okay, the Empire, they mean business. They always did that. I mean, if you got to be impressed with how Jeff Cobb and Great O'Khan were really good at what they were doing in World Tag League. But however, as a full force, that's a different story. But however, the match ended in Empire's favors. Again, they were trying to hurt Tanahashi, but this time it did not work. Apparently, Okada tried to came for the save, and of course, Ospreay gave him the hidden blade, which he's been doing the entire time. But of course, Empire, as always, they always leave with a statement, and that was their way. Now, the final match for that night, it was Dick Togo of the Bullet Club teaming with Evil and Jay White versus LIJ members Bushi, Sanada, and Eito. Now, keep in mind, Evil has a match also in Wrestle Kingdom against his former tag team partner, Sanada. As you know, Sanada and Evil were amongst the best tag teams ever. Sanada hasn't forgotten his betrayal, and he's been gunning for him ever since. As for Jay White, we all know that he won the briefcase from Kota Ibushi. He's determined that his destiny is coming up, and he will obtain the IWGP Heavyweight and the Intercontinental Champion in Wrestle Kingdom on night 2. But the match did not go exactly according to plan for Naito. Bullet Club actually won this one. And of course, as you know, Jay White is feeling his destiny is coming soon, that he will become the champion once again, but this time not holding one title, two. My friend Nico, he knows it. He always he's a big fan of Jay White every single time. So I think that's it right now for the 21st of December of Road to Tokyo Dome. Let's go to the 22nd of December Road to Tokyo Dome. Okay, so we're on December 22nd for the Road to Tokyo Dome. So let's start out with the first match. As you can guess, same thing with the different scenario on this one. We have Bullet Club members Chase Owens and Belloc Fale facing off against Toru Yano and Tomoaki Humno. Now, keep in mind in this particular match, Belloc Fale has some issues towards Toru Yano. He destroyed the KOPW trophy that he won in Jingu a few months back. And this time, on the last event, Fale broke it right in front of him. Yeah, he made him cry like a little girl. But Yano will not take that crap. The only reason he destroyed the damn trophy was because he did not like the fact that Yano tried to pick him up to suplex him down. Yeah, you probably ask yourself, how in the hell can Yano suplex a big guy? I don't know. He must have to eat a lot of food in order to do that, but I don't know. He's a bit of a trickster. That's a different story for him. But however, this whole feud has already been set for the next one that I'll be talking about. But however, in tag team action with these two teams, it went to the favor of Bullet Club. As you know, this is more of a preview for that particular match. In the next match, we have Master Wato, Tenzan, and Taguchi facing up again Suzuki-gun. As you always can guess, same results like last time, Master Wato picking up the victory. But you may never know when it comes to Suzuki-gun. They always, they don't appreciate losing to a team they feel they suck or they are a bunch of losers, a bunch of weaklings. But however, that's not the case anymore, But that's how the way I've been seeing it. So they won this match. Next match we have, once again, the same results with Bullet Club and Yujiro Takahashi and Tamatanga and Tangaloa with Yado. Again, this time with Suzuki-gun facing off once more. Same result as always, making a statement. As you know, Dangerous Techers will not allow, they feel they cannot lose against a GOD. But Zack Sabre Jr., as you always know, he's always has a point. He says it himself. He looks at the GOD. You may have won the title 6 times, but you lost it. You guys are a bunch of losers. He doesn't see the result that the fact is, it doesn't matter how many times you lose it. The matter of time is how many times have you hold it. You see, the problem is, what happens when Dangerous Techers loses and they lose the titles? Well, answer to that, doesn't make you a loser. You still want to take. But however, do you want to have a good record winning championships? Yes. If you were a heavyweight champion, let's say you won it 17 times. Look at the Nature Boy. He won it 17 times. And no one still hasn't broken his record yet. Yeah. You tell me about that. Now, the next match we have is, of course, hold on. Did I put the same thing over? No. We have Bullet Club, Taiji Shimori, Dick Togo, and Evil facing off against LIJ members Hiromu, Sanada, and Tetsuya Naito. Now, keep in mind in this also match, Taiji Shimori will face the winner, whoever wins the first night of Wrestle Kingdom. Hiromu is set to face against El Fantasmo. Now, whoever wins that match will face off against Hiromu for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship on night 2. So Hiromu will face El Fantasma on the first night. But however, we still got the feud between both Evil and Sonata, which is going to be one hell of a match, in my opinion, because they were once partners and now they're rivals, even though they can't stand each other anymore since Evil defected and betrayed LIJ. But however, this particular match, it did set up another. There was a moment where Sonata did not want to let go when he put him in the skull end finisher. He tries to leave him there to send him a message saying that he is gunning for him and all that. That's always been the scenario with Sonata. He wants to leave a statement. You see, if you guys follow Sonata, he doesn't say in his early time, he doesn't say a lot of words. Mostly his actions in the ring speaks for him. But this time he did left the message. So I'm excited to see that match happen. So LIJ won this victory. Now the main event, we have Juice Robinson, Sho, and Kota Ibushi versus Kenta, Geto, and Jay White. Now, as you know, Juice already made a gun that he wants a shot of the briefcase that Kenta has, but Kenta, he doesn't want to, but he's obligated by the New Japan officials. He has to. And then, of course, Kota Ibushi, he hasn't forgotten what Jay White did. As you know, Jay White targeted him when he won the briefcase that contained the title, the contract for the title in Wrestle Kingdom. Jay White felt he should have been the winner, and he had to do whatever it takes to obtain what was rightfully his. That's always been the story. But however, when Jay White beat Kota Ibushi for the title, he made it perfectly clear to Naito that he's not going to face him on night one. He's going to take the night off. But however, Naito decided he's going to give Ibushi a shot. Now, Jay White can care less who's he going to face on night two. It doesn't matter if it's Ibushi or what's his name, or Naito. It makes no difference for him because he feels he's walking out with both titles. That's always been what he's been gunning for the entire time since winning the briefcase. But we just got to wait and see what happens. But in this match, the favor goes to Bullet Club, as always, being another dominant force. So we all know what's going to happen. So let's move on to Road to Tokyo Dome, December 23rd. Okay, so this is the last show before we go to Wrestle Kingdom. So I'm going to try to say much as possible as I can remember what I saw and reviewed on this one. So this is the Road to Tokyo Kingdom, no, Road to Tokyo Dome, December 23rd. So we have, once again, this time, the Young Lions, Umra, Kid, and Tsuji facing off Wado, Taguchi, and Tiger Mask. But you can guess on this particular match, that is, of course, Wado, Taguchi, and Tiger Mask won this match. And that's always been the case. We've seen it. I have to say, this match was far more better than the first one. You know, because I feel like they're giving them every chance to get. As you know, Wado was once himself a young lion who went on excursion to CML, but now he's here. But we'll see how that goes. But Wado, Taguchi, and Tiger Mask won the match. Now the next match, it's Bullet Club, Taiji Shimuri, Dick Togo, and of course Evil facing off LIJ, Hiromu, Shingo, and Sonata. But however, before the match even starts, Hiromu knows he was called out to face by El Fantasma. He comes out with a mask with the face of El Fantasma, trying to get into his head, you know. And I don't think Fantasma might have liked that. But Hiromu, he's a time bomb. What do you expect? But like any time bomb, it ended. But however, much of the entire time with Dick Togo, we always seen him with the garage try to choke out his opponents. But this time it did not work. Shingo took care of that. But however, the feud between both Evil and Sonata has been rising and rising. Sonata's hatred for Evil for betraying LIJ defecting to Bullet Club has taken a toll on him, but it doesn't matter. Sonata still wants him to pay for his betrayal. But like always, LIJ prevailed thanks to Shingo's pin on this one. Now let's get to the KOPW, which is the trophy that it started in Shingo, who won by Toriano. This time he's facing Balak Fale. Now here's the stipulation: the only way to win the match, it's not a pinfall, it's not submission. You got to pick him up and slam him down to the mat. You'll be like, what the hell? Yes, but you got to remember, Yano, he's a bit of a trickster. He has always tricks up his sleeves. You can ask Rocky Romero on that. But of course, Fale wasn't there alone. He had his little sidekick with him. Well, that's the way I would see it. But Chase Owens was right there. But you know Yano, he likes to remove the safety off the turnbuckles and all of that. But he brought a big bag of dirt or whatever, how heavy it is. He passed it to the ref. Referee did not make the pin, couldn't make the pin because he was pinned under it. Fale's like, what? What's wrong with you? Did he forget that Yano brought that? So he tried to win, but however, Yano's cleverness, his sneakiness, his tricks helped him win the match when he picked up Fale and he won the match. And he, of course, after what happened to the last trophy, he got a new one, but a much bigger one. But he did took the old one with him, because it's memorable for him, if you can see that. Now, the next match we had is Toru Hanare teaming up with Satoshi Kojima versus Bullet Club members Jay White and Kenta. Now, far as we know from here, it's been reported that Juice Robinson was injured. He was supposed to be the challenger to face Kenta for the briefcase, but however, it appears it didn't happen. In this particular match, you see a majority of the time Kojima was targeting Kenta. Now, he wanted a piece of him no matter what. But however, the match ended with Jay White picking up the victory. But post-match, Kojima called out Kenta, and he's issuing himself as the next challenger. But Kenta wasn't having it. He doesn't want nothing to do with him. His priority is to get his hands on Moxley. That's what he wants. But I'll explain a little later what's going on with that. So, but it issued the chat. So Kojima is the next challenger. I have to say, it was the best substitute that they put in. Not a great one, but it's a good one as possible we can get. Next match, we have the Empire, Khan, Cobb, and of course Ospreay versus Humna, Tanahashi, and Okada. Now, this match is still the same results. The Empire are now becoming more and more powerful as ever, unable to stop them. You know how Khan has been presenting himself, like he won't be as powerful as he can be. But however, the match ended with Cobb putting the Tours of the Islands on, who did he put it on? On Humna, and it ended right there. But however, once again, Khan tried to injure the knee of Tanahashi, but Okada made the save. But the match it did not go well for Okada. He was attacked by all three men at once like rabid dogs. But as soon as they left him lay on the ground, Khan, who doesn't need a microphone, I have to say he has a great unique way of speaking out loud to make a statement. While he was making the statement, Tanahashi got his payback. He grabbed the chair and whacked him. I think that is a better payback for Tanahashi to get Khan for what he did to him after all this time trying to break his knee. So I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen on night one with these two face off with Khan and Tanahashi. Now the final match, we have Sho and Kota Ibushi teaming up against LIJ, Bushi, and Naito. As you know, This is one of those matches we have to pay attention since Naito and Kota are going to be in the first night of Wrestle Kingdom. It was a pretty good match, but much of the match was taken over by Bushi and Sho, two amazing junior heavyweight contenders. I'm excited to see how they're going to go, but it did ended with Kota Ibushi and Sho winning. But however, Jay White continues to run his mouth saying he is going to be the next champ. It doesn't matter which one of them he has to face. He doesn't care. As long he believes that he will win it. But of course, Kota and Naito, they can't tolerate him. So instead of attacking him, they just ignore him. But he did took the titles just to set up a point, saying these titles are mine sooner one way or the other, or I don't care, I'll just win it. I am the one who's going to win. That's always been the case. So let's give you my final thoughts. Okay, so here's my final thoughts for what's I feel is going to happen. Now, Jay White, he could most likely win both titles. Now, why do I say that? Jay White has been one of those guys that has been the top heel in the Gaijin side, which is the foreigner side. We've been seeing that already. He's been United States champion when he beat Kenny for the title. He has been the heavyweight champion when he beat Tanahashi and all this and that. And of course, that's what has been saying. So Jay White, I like how his attitude where he's like saying he doesn't care who wins between both both Naito or Ibushi. It makes no difference for him. He feels they will still lose and the title still goes to me. That's the way he sees it. So, do I think Jay White has a chance to win it? Well, the answer to that, yes. But for me as a fan, I feel they should just give Ibushi the title. I mean, many fans have been asking for it, you know? If you're not an Ibushi fan, then you guys got to pay attention to him. Now, as for the tag team titles coming up for the heavyweight division with Dangerous Techers versus God, this is going to be one interesting fight. However, Taichi made it clear he doesn't give a shit if they have Yado. They said they'll beat him up too. Suzuki-gun is like a gang. You see, they don't care who you bring as long as they're the ones who win it. Now, Zack Sabre Jr., he's always making a statement. He made a point about how God lost the title 6 times, and that makes them losers. But Tama Tonga will not tolerate that. But this is going to be one hell of a battle between these two teams. I say this is going to be a great one to see. Now, we got the 2 grudges matches between both Tanahashi and Great-O-Khan. Now, this is one of those matches I feel, okay, Great-O-Khan might win this one. Not because I say so, it's because if you look at him how he acts during his matches, he's so powerful. Even when he gets pissed, he's always on a rampage. And that's going to be an interesting match. Then you got Okada versus Will Ospreay. This is a battle where Ospreay will finally prove a point saying that Okada had hold him back. But Okada felt that he never did that to him. But he's still pissed off that he could have asked him if he wanted out. But it didn't happen that way. Then we got the Never Openweight Championship that is going to be on the line between Shingo Takagi and Jeff Cobb. Now, the entire 3 tours, I haven't seen Jeff Cobb try to attack Shingo to make a statement, but it looks like we could see that happen. And then we got Hiromu Takahashi facing El Fantasma, who is the winner of the Super J Cup that he won recently 2 times in a row. Hiromu, who is the winner of the Best of the Super Juniors. However, this time you get to see these 2 facing off. But however, one of these 2 men will be the one to face off against Taiji Shimori for the IWGP Heavyweight Junior Heavyweight the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. Now, knowing Alpha Bullet Club, they don't normally keep things fair if El Fantasma win it. He probably will try to win it by applying his usual shenanigans, even when he's in a ring. So that is something, and of course, applying the moves that Kenny and AJ and probably Prince Devitt did. But we'll see what that happens. And what else I know? I think there's a lot, but right now, but also to remind you guys, if you guys are heard this now, it appears Stardom has issued the fact that they're going to have a dark match at Wrestle Kingdom, just like they did the last time. So that is something cool to watch. If you guys haven't seen Stardom, then you guys are missing out. I've been following Stardom, haven't seen a lot of their full matches, but this time, this one is going to be interesting. But I will review one of their latest events, Road to Osaka Dream Cinderella for day 2. I will review that soon enough. So I must bid all of you guys adieu, and I'll see you next time. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang!